I never thought one secret could gnaw at me like this, but it has been eating away at my sanity for months now. Every time I look at her, at the way she laughs, the way she rests her hand gently on my arm when she's trying to reassure me, I feel both love and betrayal twist together like barbed wire around my heart. Because the truth is, I know things about her past. Things she confessed one night in a shaky voice, when she thought it was safe to unload everything onto me. At first, I thought her honesty would bring us closer. Instead, it broke something in me I can't seem to repair. She told me about her old relationships, the reckless choices, the people she slept with who meant nothing to her, the lies she told to partners before me, the betrayals. She swore she's changed, that she's not the same girl anymore, that I'm the one she chose because I'm different. And for a while, I believed her. But here's the problem. The more she tried to prove her loyalty, the more I felt the shadows of her past hovering between us. Every time she picked up her phone and smiled at a notification, my chest tightened. Every time she dressed up a little more than usual, my mind spun out of control. I didn't accuse her outright. Instead, I stored everything inside, replaying her words over and over. That's not who I am anymore. But how could I let go when the stories she told me still burned in my brain? It all came crashing down last weekend. We were out with friends, and one of them, without knowing the weight of his words, mentioned her old boyfriend. He said his name casually, like it was just trivia. But in that moment, my stomach dropped. I saw her flinch, saw the way her smile froze, and I lost it. I asked her, right there in front of everyone, why she hadn't told me that detail. Why she always seemed to minimize certain things. She pulled me aside, furious and embarrassed, whispering, "I told you everything. You're the one who won't let it go." Her voice cracked. Mine rose. And before I knew it, the whole table was watching as we fought like strangers. Later, she accused me of punishing her for things she can't change. She told me I was clinging to the past, weaponizing her mistakes, refusing to see the person she is now. But I can't stop thinking, what if the past always finds a way back? What if people never truly change? Now she barely speaks to me. She says she doesn't know if she can stay with someone who sees her only as the sum of her worst mistakes. And I don't know if I'm being protective of myself or cruel to her. So I'm left with this question. Am I the asshole for holding on to her past, for not being able to forgive what she's already admitted to? Or am I right to keep my guard up, to never fully trust someone who once treated loyalty like an afterthought? The days after that fight were like walking on glass. We barely spoke except when necessary, and even then, our words were clipped, fragile, like we were both afraid to make the wrong move and shatter what was left of us. But in my head, the past wouldn't stop replaying. Every look she gave me felt tinged with something I couldn't place. Was it pity, resentment, or guilt? I couldn't tell anymore. One night, I couldn't help myself. I looked at her phone while she was in the shower. I know it was wrong. I know it makes me the villain here. But curiosity and paranoia gnawed at me until my hands shook as I swiped through her messages. Most of it was harmless. Chats with coworkers, memes from friends. But then I saw his name. Him. One of the exes she had cried over when she told me her story, the one she swore she cut out of her life forever. And there he was, just a week ago. "Hey, I was thinking about you. Hope you're doing well." And her reply, short but real, "I'm good. Thanks." That was all. 2 messages. Nothing damning. But my chest tightened anyway, because she hadn't told me. And when she walked out of the bathroom, hair damp, wearing my old hoodie like she always did, I couldn't even look at her. For 3 days, I said nothing. But she noticed. She always notices. Finally, she sat me down and demanded to know what was wrong. I cracked. I told her I knew about the text. I told her I couldn't believe she would keep something like that from me when she knows how much her past eats me alive. Her face went pale, then red. "You went through my phone?" she whispered. I expected rage, but what I got was something worse. Disappointment. She shook her head, tears welling, and said, "Do you hear yourself? You're so obsessed with who I used to be that you can't see who I am now. That text meant nothing. Nothing. And instead of trusting me, you'd rather tear us apart looking for proof that doesn't exist." I should have apologized. I should have admitted that I crossed a line. But instead, I dug in. I accused her of hiding, of still being tied to her past, of keeping doors open that she promised she had closed. That was the moment her voice broke. She said something I'll never forget. "If you don't let go of the past, you're going to destroy our future." That night she slept on the couch. The next morning she packed a bag. She said she needed space to think. And as I watched her leave, I realized with a sickening twist in my stomach that I might have pushed her straight back into the arms of the people I feared most. A week passed. Then two. She texted me occasionally, cold, polite updates. But nothing real. Then one night, I saw a picture on social media. Her, at a bar, sitting beside that same ex I found in her messages. They weren't touching. They weren't kissing. But the fact that she was even there was enough to gut me. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. She just said, "You didn't trust me when I did nothing wrong. So why should I fight to prove myself to you anymore?" That line cut deeper than anything. Because she was right. My paranoia had created the very betrayal I was so afraid of. By clinging to her past, I had given her no chance to build a future with me. Now, I'm sitting here staring at the walls of an apartment that feels emptier by the day. The echoes of her laughter are gone. Her clothes, her books, her little mug she always used for tea, they're all gone. And I don't know if she'll ever come back. But maybe that's the cruel irony. In trying so hard not to be betrayed, I became the betrayer, the one who destroyed trust first. So maybe the real question isn't whether I'm the asshole for holding on to her past. Maybe the question is, can love ever survive when the past is louder than the present? The weeks stretched into months. At first, I clung to the hope that she would come back, that the distance was just her way of proving a point, and once I showed her I could be patient, she'd forgive me. But silence has a way of twisting into something darker. Her absence grew heavier, not lighter. Every day, I scrolled through her social media. Most of the time, it was empty, but when she did post, a sunset, a coffee cup, a photo of herself with friends, it felt like a knife to the chest. She was living, smiling, breathing, while I was stuck rotting in a loop of paranoia and regret. Then one night, I broke. I sent her a long, desperate message. "I know I messed up. I know I've been unfair. Please, just talk to me. Let me make this right." She didn't reply for 2 days. When she finally did, it was short, almost mechanical. "We should meet. In person. I have things to say." My heart raced. This was it. The reckoning. We met at the same cafe where we'd had our first date years ago. I chose the table in the corner, nerves eating me alive. When she walked in, she looked different, not in some dramatic way, but in the way someone looks when they've shed a weight. Her shoulders weren't hunched, her steps were confident, her eyes calm. I wanted to reach for her hand, to pull her close and tell her I was sorry, but the moment I opened my mouth, she cut me off. "I need to be honest," she said, her voice steady. "I don't think I can do this anymore." It felt like the floor gave out beneath me. I asked her why she wouldn't give me one more chance, why we couldn't rebuild what we had. And that's when she finally let it all out. She told me how suffocating it was to be judged not for her actions now, but for things she did years ago. How she felt like she was being punished twice, once when she lived through those mistakes, and again when I used them as weapons. She said she wanted a partner who believed in her growth, not someone who dragged her back into the dirt every time she tried to move forward. And then she said the part that broke me, "I thought you were different. I thought you saw me for who I am now. But you've only ever seen the version of me that I hate the most." I begged her not to give up, but the truth was written all over her face. She had already left me in her heart long before she packed that bag. Then she confessed something else. She admitted she had been seeing her ex again, not romantically, she insisted, but as a friend, someone who knew that old version of her without judgment. She said she had gone to him not because she wanted him, but because she wanted to feel accepted, even if it was by the last person I would have wanted her near. It was betrayal, yes, but one I had driven her into. I snapped. I accused her of lying, of trying to soften the truth, of using me as her emotional punching bag while she rekindled what I feared most. My voice rose, people turned to look, and she sat there calmly, letting me spiral. When I finally stopped, she whispered, "Do you see now? This is exactly what I mean. You've made me a prisoner of my past, and I can't live like that." She stood up, left money for her coffee, and walked away. No dramatic pause. No last glance. Just gone. I didn't chase her this time. I couldn't. Because for the first time, I understood that she wasn't wrong. My inability to let go had destroyed everything. Now, months later, I sit in this silence and wonder, was it betrayal when she went back to her ex? Or was the real betrayal mine, never giving her the chance to prove that she could be better, that people really can change? I don't have an answer. All I know is that love isn't just about who someone was, or even who they are, it's about who you let them become. And I never let her become anyone except the ghost of her worst mistakes. And that's why she's gone.